Demoralization warfare. Demoralization is in a context of warfare, national security, and law enforcement. A process and demoralization methods are military tactics. So we know that DHS, fusion centers, city halls, police forces, U.S. Army, they're all being mixed in together, and our government is being militarized on a local level. Gang stalking is about demotivating, demoralizing, and disempowering a human being. Now, demoralization tactics are being used by Citizens Corps. That could be one of the reasons why we had that Baton Rouge shooting. Now, a lot of these gang stalkers like to demoralize. I've actually seen these people work in groups in a city with over 1 million people, follow me around numerous times, using women to open up doors for me. I hired a private investigator, and we had counted in 1 week 114 women opening up doors for me. Then the week after that, it was over 200 men. And what we did was, everywhere I went, we noticed that I was being followed around by people tied to law enforcement, retired military, Freemasons. And I spent the whole day just going store to store in a place that was really packed. It was spring break in Florida. I'm not going to say the town. So I just went to as many stores as humanly possible because we wanted to see what other people in the area were experiencing. We wanted to see if we can match myself up with other marginalized people to see if they're being treated the same way. So what we discovered is that these people have ties to the government, clandestine agencies, the military, and they're utilizing these tactics on a local level. And Department of Justice clearly states that stalking, harassment leads to violence. We need to speak against violence. I make my videos because I'm against the violence. I'm against mass shootings. I'm against activities which medical professionals clearly state cause serious harm to communities. Now, we know that Citizens Corps is not the organization Americans believe it to be. There may be a lot of good people in these organizations, but before they existed, we didn't have a tremendous amount of gang stalking complaints in America until the institution of DHS, where you have hundreds of thousands of people getting involved in people's lives when they don't even have a relationship with them. So they get neighbors involved in this. They get your local police, the Freemasons. I mean, a lot of times you're dealing with the trash of the earth. Anyone can go out and do something stupid, and it's unethical to lash out. But that's what these people want. They want you to lash out. They utilize different agencies. So one of the tactics these people like to do is once you exit your home, they like to harass you. And they'll get people in gas stations and places close by to get involved in it. They may use slander. And they will network through religious groups. And they will actually try to recruit you. A lot of these stakeholders at DHS, and if they can't recruit you, they get pissed. It's like, you have no choice. I've had people tell me that you have no choice. You're going to join us. I'm like, no, I'm not. I have my own beliefs. I'm living my own life. I believe in Buddhism. I don't harm no one. I don't own weapons. Please leave me alone. So I started realizing this movement is real after asking the FBI for help. They hung up the phone on me, refused to help, refused to investigate. Police did the same thing. So when I did research, I found out that a lady named Jean Seberg complained about being gang stalked and harassed. She committed suicide. So when I started looking at the reports of other TIs were saying, hey, the FBI is hanging the phone up on us. And it's a whistleblower, Karen Stewart, went through that. I went through that. I mean, a lot of people have gone through that. Now, why would the federal government refuse to listen to people that have evidence of death threats, harassment? Could it be that they actually have ties to this movement? Of course, they're into targeting people. So this movement operates on a local level, on a federal level, a state level. It operates through our government. And anytime you mix military tactics in a country that's packed with guns and people that are, out there, because half of this country's on pills. I don't take any pills for any type of mental disorder, but we have a lot of cops, a lot of people and kids that are on Ritalin, all types of stuff. So we get a lot of people in these programs that have a tremendous amount of problems. These people that are getting these people in these programs pretend like they're buddy buddy. A lot of times these people are even homeless off the streets, and they're paid to literally go out and harass people. So that way the police and they don't get their hands dirty when they never should have even messed with the person. So we are actually causing a lot of these problems. So about 9 days ago, I was at a UPS store, and I was in there for about 10, 12 minutes. So this lady walks in, the cashier looked at her crazy. She didn't buy nothing. She just stood there wearing black shades for like 11, 12 minutes straight. She didn't move a muscle, just stood right there in the store. There's only 2 printers and 2 cashiers, and they sell stamps and envelopes and send out packages. So when I walked out, she walked out at the same time, and I heard one of the cashiers say, "That's strange. She's walking out at the exact same moment he's walking out." So surveillance is not about making your presence known. When you're trying to do that, you're trying to harass. But what is strange is that I remember while I was living in New Mexico, before I came here to Texas, I had went to the local FBI office to seek help concerning my organized harassment. And this lady came out wearing a brace and was talking about a paralegal certification she just gained. Well, that day I just got a paralegal certification through Auburn University. This was a couple years ago, and I had a brace on my hand too. Same type, same hand. What's the coincidence? So when I go in this place, this lady has a brace on her hand, wearing black shades, driving a car that looks kind of like an FBI vehicle, perhaps, or a military vehicle. And she walks out at the same exact moment. The store is like maybe 2 times bigger than my bedroom. It's real small. No one was there. I was the only customer. And she's there and walks out at the same time. Now, if you look at my video called HHS, or harassed by HHS or ex-HHS employee, I'm sorry, you will see that I complained about being harassed once I walked out my house. This was like for a while. So the people that are being used for these programs are normally people that are stakeholders to DHS. Our nation never had a serious gang stalking problem. And what Citizens Corps does is persistently harass. And then they eventually stop, but then other stakeholders can be brought into this movement, and it won't come back to them because they will try to hide it through non-disclosure agreements. If we watch this organization, I believe that we can drastically reduce a lot of these mass shootings in an effort to promote counterterrorism awareness. But it's only going to happen when our national security agencies say, hey, we got to take a firm stand against domestic terrorism and activities which medical professionals clearly state lead to problems. Now, I'm about to be moving out of this country, declaring political asylum, because I've gained a lot of insight and a lot of information that I'm not sharing online, and it's possibly going to help the international community or other counterterrorism agencies effectively understand why this nation has the highest active shooter rate in the whole entire world. It's going to be undeniable when it's shared, because it clearly shows that it's tied to our military, federal government, local city agencies, and a tremendous amount of people that are of Jewish descent, and their organizations, tags, and who they work for. They are also organizations for different groups that are like kids, Jewish, that are Masonic. A lot of these people are good people, but what happens is that this mob type culture is infesting our communities, and it's based on covertly harassing a human being. So these people operate through secrecy. It's like the Secret Service. They're called a Secret Service for a reason, because they do stuff that's secret. So we have mixed in our military with our police forces, and what's happening is that we're utilizing these tactics in our communities. And when something goes wrong, do you think Department of Justice, the FBI, or DHS are going to admit that their tactics are based on demoralization? You know, when I can actually show proof that I've had 100 women opening up doors for me in 1 week, that's not normal. When you can show guys literally opening up a door and getting behind it and doing it nonstop, and when you run their tactics coming up, police, U.S. Army, and so on, nonstop, something's not right. So this movement is done in a covert manner to degrade and these people operate by degrading, demoralizing, and denying. They like to deny the harassment, degrade, deny, and destroy. That appears to be their, I guess you can say, one of their main tactics. Degrade, deny, destroy. So I hope this information is going to be useful. I'm going to share a little clip of my experience at UPS. I didn't take a clip while I was in there because I didn't expect this to happen so quick. I thought I was this woman waiting for some papers to be printed, but that wasn't the case. They also study your pattern, and then they'll go to that store at the same time, maybe change hats and shirts, so that way you don't recognize them, and they may buy something. But they normally harass you when you're parking, when you're getting to your car. You may notice them, and then you may walk out of a store and they get into the car. Then once you get to your car, they get out of their car and start walking down a highway, and there's nothing there, and the car runs fine. Just strange stuff. So these are tactics that they're using to orchestrate mass shootings all across our nation. Thank you for listening. I hope this information will reach our national security agencies and different counterterrorism groups so we can effectively monitor all threats, both foreign and domestic.
Okay, this is really weird. Now, I come into FedEx to mail out a document. While I'm there, this woman stands there for like 10 minutes. She doesn't buy anything, she just stands there. So, at the exact moment I walk out the door, she walks out the door. So I find that really, really odd, because I've experienced that quite a bit. I'm just gonna get her tag, but I think it's something like, I don't know if that's her right there, but yeah, it's like BF4W238, and she's driving like one of these Ford Taurus cars. So at the exact moment I walk out of this place, she goes to her car. That's really strange. So while I was in there the whole entire time, she just stands there.